I'd like to tell a story about one of my early church experiences. I had never really gone to church as a child. I had gone maybe once or twice with my best friend in high school, and it was a Baptist church. And the last time I was there, it hadn't gone well. Um, the service was about my friend and I. We were sat in the middle row, and the minister began talking about the way we were dressed, and it just didn't go well. So when I turned 18, I got a job. I was promoted actually uh, to a manager trainee position. And to take that job, I had to change stores. The assistant manager at this new store that I was at was studying to become a minister. And week after week, he would invite me to church, and I would say no because of the previous experience I had had at the Baptist church with my friend just a year earlier. Finally, because his church was in my neighborhood, it was literally right down the street from my apartment, I agreed to go. I'd never been to this type of church. It was not a Baptist church, it was a charismatic church, which I really didn't know what that was, but I was skeptical, but I thought, okay, I'll just check it out and go with him. He's my boss after all. It won't take long. I'll be in and out and it'll be done. So when I get to the church on Sunday, he's waiting for me at the door. And he takes me by the hand, and he and an usher move me right in the middle of the front row of this church. And so I'm having flashbacks to my previous church experience. And I'm like, oh no, they're not going to give a talk about me. Well, anyway, the music starts, and it's much different than a Baptist church. People are up and they're dancing and swinging, and I'm looking around because I'm totally out of my element here. Um, uncomfortable because I'm in the front row. The music was good, but and I liked to dance at the time, but it was Sunday morning. It's very dark in the church except for the stage, which is lit. And as the music continues, I look over to my left and I see the minister come out. He comes out, they draw the curtain, and this minister comes out, and he's dressed in a suit, and he's got gold, he's got bling, I guess they call it. And he walks up to the front row, and everyone's swaying and dancing, and people are behind the front row. The minister's in front looking at the man on the end, and there are people behind him. And the next thing I know, he whispers something to the man and then bops him right in the head. And down he goes. Faints dead away. He moves on to the next guy in the front row, whispers something in his ear, bops him right in the head. Down he goes. They catch him, put him in his chair. These people are passed out. It goes on like that. Whisper, bop, faint. Whisper, bop, faint. Whisper, bop, faint. All the way down the front row until he gets to me, and I'm like, I didn't say anything, but the look on my face told him everything he needed to know. Do not bop me in the head. So he skipped over me, and down he goes the row. Bop, faint, bop, faint, bop, faint, bop, faint, bop, faint. All the way, 25 people got bopped in the head, and they all fainted, except me. Now I'm really uncomfortable. We finally sit down, and I don't know what the talk was about. I wasn't listening. I couldn't believe what I was seeing here. I'd seen something like this on TV before, and I never really believed. I thought they're paying these people to faint, but no, here it was in my neighborhood at the church at the end of my street, and they're getting bopped and they're fainting all over the place. So the service finally ends, and I can't wait to get out of there. It was over an hour, almost an hour and a half, and as I'm getting ready to leave, my friend comes up to me and says, oh, there's one more thing I want you to try before you go. It won't take very long. Just trust me. Okay. So we go into this back room, and it looked like a loading dock of some sort. And all these people are in a circle. all holding hands, and I'm placed right across the circle from the minister. And they said, all you have to do is close your eyes, and whatever you hear the minister say, just repeat it. Okay, so we hold hands, I close my eyes, and the minister starts speaking in tongues slowly. And he would say something, and then we would all say something, and then he would say something, and then we would all say something. And it just went on like this. I lost track of time uh, while I was in this circle. I just kept hearing the minister, and I would repeat what he said, and it would seem to go on and on and on. I had no idea how long it lasted. But when I stopped hearing the voice, I stopped speaking, and when I opened my eyes, there were only 3 people left standing there. There had started out with at least 30. And I looked for my friend, and he was over drinking coffee over there in a corner. And I walked up to him and I said, "What happened?" And he said, "Look at the clock." And I looked at the clock on the wall, and it was 45 minutes. I'd been I'd been repeating what I heard for 45 minutes, and I couldn't believe it. It's halfway through the afternoon now, and I said, "I don't get it." And he said, "Well, the minister stopped after about 10 minutes, and everybody else went on for about 20, and then you just kept going on and on and on and wouldn't stop. You were pretty much all by yourself, so we all just kind of gave up and had lunch." That totally freaked me out. I could not believe. I'm like, no way, that didn't happen. He says, "No, that's what happened. Look at the clock." And he's right. I'd gone on by myself for several minutes speaking in tongues. So that just put a chill through my body. I just froze for a minute, and I said, "Okay, well, I've got to go." I practically ran out to the parking lot. I jumped in my car. I dropped the keys as I was trying to start the ignition. I finally got it started. I stepped on that gas, and I did about 50 miles an hour out of that parking lot. I was scared to death. So, I mean, talk about the fear of the Lord. There it is. I don't even know if it was the Lord. I don't know what that was. To this day, I don't know what that was. I do wonder, though, what would have happened if I'd let him bop me in the head? Would I have fainted? I don't know. But that did expand the realm of the possible for me, because I was a complete skeptic about speaking in tongues or charismatic churches in general. But there was something. Uh, and I did speak in tongues. I never wanted to do it again. But it taught me that don't always come at new situations with complete doubt. Yeah, you could be skeptical, but always leave your mind open to have your the realm of the possible expanded for you. Um, and I do kind of wish he'd have bopped me in the head after all. Anyway, that's my story. Thank you.